Back inside the Quest airlock, once again watching Commander Mark Kelly working in tandem with Greg Shamatoff as they are suiting up the crew for the spacewalk, Fossum and Guerin. Having donned their communications caps, those are the devices that gave at least some problem to Mike Fossum back on Tuesday, which caused about a 50-minute delay in the start of the spacewalk. We don't expect any similar problem today. The spacewalk officers in mission control in the space station flight control room report good biomedical data, awaiting initial communications checks.
Still waiting for the EMU data.
Houston, EV1, com check.
EV1, have you loud and clear?
Outstanding, same here. Houston, EV2, com check.
EV2, we have you loud and clear.
Loud and clear also.
And now back to video that was recorded yesterday of a water dump that was conducted by Discovery during the time of work. Seen from the International Space Station. That is not a snowstorm in space. It is a water dump that was conducted, that was recorded on digital television by the crew aboard Discovery.
Airlock Houston on the big loop. We have good suit data, so we're seeing step 13 in the camp out EVA prep procedure as complete.
Airlock copies.
Good look at one of the station's solar arrays. This is video once again that was recorded yesterday, being downlinked by the crew of Discovery, simultaneous to the continuing preparations for today's spacewalk. Mike Fossum and Ron Guerin in the Quest airlock in their liquid cooling garments. Good suit data, good biomedical data reported by the team in the space station flight control room as we are proceeding right on track for the start of today's spacewalk.
Looks like a busy jet route down there. A lot of contrast. And right now we are over Central Europe. At sunset.
This is a video once again that was recorded yesterday, looking out of the window.
There, of course, is Columbus.
One of the windows of the International Space Station at some of the modules. Just there you saw the Columbus module for the European Space Agency that was installed on the STS-122 mission back in February. Earlier, a view of the exterior of the Kibo module,
Let's see if we can catch sunset here in 2 minutes.
which was installed on Tuesday and opened for business yesterday. That will be the focus of attention for Mike Fossum and Ron Guerin today during the second spacewalk of the mission, as they install television cameras on the forward cone, if you will, the forward end of Kibo, remove a series of thermal covers and thermal insulation from the 33-foot-long Japanese robotic arm, and prepare the berthing port on the top of Kibo for tomorrow's relocation of the Japanese logistics module from the top of Harmony to the top of Kibo itself. They will also spend time out on the truss as they prepare a nitrogen tank assembly component for a replacement activity that will occur on the third spacewalk to occur on Sunday, in which an expended nitrogen tank is removed from the S1 truss and replaced with a spare that is currently on a stowage platform on the port truss of the International Space Station. The crew also will retrieve from the port truss a faulty television camera assembly that will be brought inside to have its power supply replaced and reinstalled on the port truss during the third spacewalk on Sunday.
And already you can see the tone of the light start to soften dramatically. Change. I think the camera is compensating greatly because it is much, much darker for real. There's a little glow through the atmosphere. Pretty soon it'll be pitch black. Maybe somebody on station turned the light on. That's it.
This is Mission Control Houston. At this hour, the shuttle station complex is sailing 210 miles above the Pacific Ocean, moving from northwest to southeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. At the lower left-hand portion of your screen, Commander Mark Kelly of Discovery working with Greg Shamatoff and the Quest airlock as they prepare Mike Fossum and Ron Garan for the upcoming spacewalk today, the 111th spacewalk in support of space station assembly and maintenance. The spacesuit you're looking at is the one that will be worn by Mike Fossum, bearing the red stripes as extravehicular crew member number 1. Ron Garan wears the other spacesuit that has no markings. He'll be EV2, or extravehicular crew member number 2. When they move out of the Quest airlock today, Mike Fossum and Ron Guerin will begin work to set up their tools and tethers, and then we'll move to the forward end of Kibo for about a 50-minute activity to install a pair of television cameras that will flank the 33-foot-long Japanese robotic arm. It is known as the GEM RMS, or the Japanese Experiment Module Remote Manipulator System. It will be operated from a robotic workstation that was moved from the logistics module, the Japanese logistics module, into Kibo after the opening of the hatch to Kibo yesterday afternoon. The arm is currently stowed at the forward end of Kibo. It will be activated and unfurled by Aki Hoshide and Karen Nyberg on Saturday for several days of testing. The robotic arm is a fixed base device whose primary function, of course, is to manipulate payloads and other spare parts and move them between the Kibo airlock, the Kibo exposed facility that will be delivered on the STS-127 mission next year, and that exposed section logistics platform yet to be delivered. The major components of that robotic arm, of course, the main arm, as it is known, is the first of two such arms. A smaller arm will be delivered on one of the unmanned H-2 transfer vehicles known as the HTV that will be launched from the Japanese Space Center in Tanegashima, Japan, the first launch of which is scheduled for late next year. Inside Kibo, you have that robotics console, as we mentioned before, and what is known as a backup drive system that will be tested later on in this flight. The console was delivered in the Japanese logistics module back in March on the STS-123 mission and was moved over and installed in the Kibo module as the first rack to be moved over yesterday.